The message is, today Kasoma Farouk of Uganda is going deep into EEC. Into what? EEC. We are saying the European Economic Community was a regional organization or association of European countries which was set up to promote economic integration. In other words, to promote economic cooperation. Countries were meant to cooperate with one another in terms of development. The game was, they wanted to boost their economies. To boost their what? Their economies. So we are saying, in this kind of arrangement, the original members were 6 Western European countries, which included France, West Germany, Italy, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, among others. So by this, we needed to understand the objectives of the European Economic Community. In other words, what were the objectives of the European Economic Community? Number 1, to create a single or common market among the Western European nations. There was an issue of creating a single or common market among the Western European nations. In other words, the European states wanted to have a single or common market. That's why they came up with EEC, to create a single or common what? Market among the European states. In other words, they had to have a common market. This was going to help members not to lose out in terms of business. Another one, to promote peace and liberty among European people. We are saying they wanted to promote peace and liberty among European what? People. So in this game, they wanted to promote peace and liberty among European people. Where I can say, among European people, they wanted to promote peace and liberty among European people. In this kind of arrangement, peace and liberty had to be promoted among the European people. In other words, European people were supposed to call for peace and liberty. They were not supposed to fight against one another. Very important. Another one, to build a political union of the states of Western Europe. The diplomats aimed at building a political union of the states of Western Europe. In other words, states of Western Europe had to have a political union. In other words, they had to come together and form a political union and create one great leader at the top. Changes rising up. Another one, to uplift the social and economic conditions among the member states. There was an issue of uplifting the social and economic conditions among what? Member states. The economic conditions among the member states had to be promoted and uplifted. Changes rising up. EEC, which was formed in 1957, was meant to promote and uplift the standard of living. Another one, to economically resist the promotion of communism. We believe by this time the diplomats aimed at resisting the promotion of what? Communism. In other words, communism had to be in this kind of arrangement. Communism had to be stopped. It was not supposed to be promoted in where? In Europe. That's why EEC was formed. I'm going to first explain the achievements. I'm going to give you after. So we need to know whether EEC achieved or failed. Achieved or did what? Failed. First listen to them. The European Economic Community promoted trade. We believe by this time, European Economic Community promoted trade because the members were told to trade with one another without stronger tariffs. Do you know tariffs? Yes. Like those, the amount of money a country needs to pay when it's passing around the border. So in this kind of arrangement, the European Economic Community, among its achievements, it promoted trade among European countries because the people are allowed to trade without strong tariffs. They didn't put their stronger tariffs on them. Are we together? Another one, we are saying the European Economic Community increased the productivity because people are assured of the market as they were supposed to trade in all of the Western European countries and possibly in the whole of Europe easily. So we are saying production increased. Why? Because by this time we are saying production had to be increased because in this kind of arrangement people had to produce a lot. Why? Because they were assured of the market. They were assured of the what? The market. That's why they produced so many products, since they were assured of the what? Of the market. So production increased. Another one, it influenced the establishment of common price levels. It influenced the establishment of common price what? Levels. Where on some items there was what you call common price levels, where people are selling goods at the same what? Price, and this made the people to develop in terms of trade. Another one, EEC established a common agricultural policy. Common agricultural policy was that members were supposed to sell their products at this price in the region altogether. And in this, we are realizing the development of the European the agricultural policy led to the development of Europe. Changes rising up. So we are saying EEC tried to achieve. Then it promoted democracy in the European countries. It called upon countries within Europe to be democratic. To be what? Democratic. And by this time, democracy was promoted. Changes rising up. Democracy was promoted as a result of the works of EEC. Democracy had to be what? Promoted. The European Economic Community encouraged the free movement of labor. Free movement of labor. If you failed to get job in one country, you had to move in another what? Another country, and you could get the what? The job. So free movement of labor, which led to development. Because by this time, members who got jobs in other countries had to pay taxes in their countries, and in turn, they had to boost the economies of their what? Their countries. Changes rising up here. Another one, the European Economic Community passed regulations which harmonized the standard of living among a people. So we believe by this time, EEC harmonized the standard of living among a people. Another one, it resisted the promotion of communism. It resisted the promotion of what? Communism. I can say communism, its promotion was resisted. By this, we are seeing changes rising up as a result of the European Economic what? Community, where I can say development had to rise up in Europe because EEC resisted the promotion of communism. Then it promoted reconciliation among European countries. Countries were called upon to reconcile. To do what? You sit with your enemy to solve problems. Changes rising up. Another one, it promoted unity among member states. It promoted unity among what? Member states were called upon to unite together for a common goal of developing Europe. For a common goal of developing what? Europe. Changes rising up. So we are saying EEC tried to achieve. Another one, it facilitated the reconstruction of Europe after World War II. We believe that World War II led to great destruction. So there was reconstruction. There was what? Reconstruction. Where Europe had to be reconstructed. Europe had to be reconstructed because it had been destroyed by World War what? By World War II. Buildings were down. Productive people died. So there was reconstruction. So we are saying EEC tried to achieve. In other words, we based on the objectives of EEC, European Economic Community, to reason whether it achieved or did what? Failed. So EEC tried to achieve some of its objectives. That is very, very important.